guys, it's Chantal with Wildberry Quilting, and today we're going to talk about the 3 things that you should check first when your machine is acting up and you are having problems with your stitches. So let's hit the sewing room and I'll show you. Okay, so the first thing you should do with your machine, if it is not stitching correctly, is you should try rethreading it, both the top and the bottom. And a good rule of thumb is that if the stitching on the top of your project is looking wrong, then it's usually the bobbin thread that is messed up. If it is the stitching on the bottom of your project that is messed up, it is usually your top thread that needs to be rethreaded. But it is usually good just to rethread both of them, beginning to end, just to be sure. Because it's possible that both could have an issue, and then you might fix one, but you still have something that you need to work through, and you're not quite sure why it's still not working correctly. Always safer just to do both. Now, if you have rethreaded your machine, both top and bobbin, and your machine is still giving you problems, then the next 2 things you should do together, and that is change your needle and clean your machine. So if you're changing your needle, it's better just to go ahead and clean your machine at the same time. So we will do those 2 things together. And it's going to be a little bit different depending on what machine you have, but most of them should be fairly similar in how you will take care of this. Whoops! And everything's just going to pop right out at me. I happen to keep all of my cleaning supplies in a little tin here. So you'll remove your needle, and we can just set that off to the side. If you have a little tin like this, it's nice because it's metal, so you can put a needle minder in here and I'll just hold it right there for you. But if you're having trouble, you may want to change that needle as well. So when you're cleaning this, try and move you a little bit closer so you can see. I like to use these. They just have a little bit of a fuzzy tip on the end. They're actually, originally were supposed to be makeup brushes, but I think that the sewing world found out about them, and they are fantastic for just pulling out all of that fluff from your sewing machine. So we just kind of go along in here and clean out the race area. Look at all of that, it's still there. And you want to be careful that you're not dislodging anything, but it shouldn't be too difficult to just gently go along and remove any fluff that you see. You do not want to use canned air inside of your sewing machine. That is not a good idea, and I don't think any sewing machine maker recommends that. Now with these little heads, I can usually get right in along my feed dogs and get in between each of them. This particular one, I think they put a little bit more end on than some of the others because I can't quite get in there with them. But I might grab a different one it's a little bit smaller to make sure I can do that. There we go, that was a lot easier. But you can get a lot of fluff even from inside those little between your feed dogs. And I like to clean all of that out as well. And it only takes a moment. So this is all nice and clean now. I just need to clean off my, I can't think of what this is called. Bobbin case? No, it's not bobbin case. I can't think of what it's called. But we're going to clean this off. And this I actually do use canned air for. So I'm just going to bring it away from my sewing machine because I don't want to blow any dust into my sewing machine. And that does a good job of cleaning it up. You can use canned air on that. That's fine. And stick that back together. Make sure this is clean. Again, I can use canned air to clean this part as well. Put it back together. The face plate has not accumulated anything on it. It's nice and clean. So I'm just going to put that right back in place. And oh my gosh. There we go. And put in my bobbin. And now I just need to either replace my needle or put it back in there if I am confident that my needle is fine already, which I just changed this needle, so I know it's okay to put back in. Now make sure that you're putting it in properly. There is a flat side and there is a rounded side that has all of the writing and the information about the needles. So on my machine, the flat side goes to the back, and my machine actually came with a little tool that helps you insert it correctly as well, which is very helpful if you're not quite sure or you can't quite keep track. Now, when you're inserting your needle, you're just going to insert it as high as you can into there. Don't try and shove it up in there, but as high as it'll comfortably go in. And then you will tighten the screw with your finger. And if you want to make sure it's extra secure, you can kind of give it a quarter turn with a screwdriver. But that is not necessary on all machines. And if you've got a little threader, go ahead and thread your machine. And reattach your foot. Now, anytime you are changing your needle, you definitely want to remove your foot, your presser foot. You don't want to try to change your needle with the foot in the way. That could lead to you scratching the foot and damaging it in some way. It will lead to you messing up the needle, which could also involve you messing up the new needle when you go to put that one on. One more tip for you. I like to buy organ needles. They are a really good brand, and they actually a lot of nice sewing machines will actually come with organ needles. They are considered a high quality needle, and they are one that you can buy in bulk fairly cheaply on Amazon. So that is something that I do. I buy my needles in bulk, and then I don't ever have to worry about trying to overuse a needle that really should be replaced, because that's never a good thing. Okay, so the 3 things that you needed to check was rethreading your machine, top and bottom, changing your needle, and cleaning your machine. If you still have issues after that, then it may be time to bring it to the machine doctor. But those three things will likely get you through most issues that you will encounter with your sewing machine. And most threading and tension issues can also be solved simply by taking care of those three things. I hope this helps. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.